You're just inputting heat into a system.
Correct.
That's the same as any power plant. The difference is, one, you're getting it from the sun. It doesn't cost any money. And two, you have a reserve that's charging when you have a surplus of energy, so you can keep running when that energy source is gone.
Correct.
And all of that without having to input any additional energy. You know, the sun is just endless available energy. And the way you guys have harnessed it and connected it to all the different technologies is truly remarkable, but it also shows how much future there is for this technology. We're on our way to meet Jeffrey, who's the Israeli CEO for Zion Oil and Gas. This is an American-based company, and we're going to meet him in the Bet Shean Valley. This is sort of through the Jordan Valley in the northern part of Israel. This is a very promising site for finding or oil or gas right inside of Israel.
Hey!
So this is it, huh?
Mati,
Good
how you
to see
doing,
you.
man?
Good, good. Woo, this is the place, huh?
This is it. This is it. Here we are. This is our drilling pad.
This is where it all happened.
Where it happened and it will happen.
We're standing here inside the Jordan Valley, or right next to the Jordan Valley.
Right.
We're standing on a dirt pad. It seems like there's been a lot of work done here.
This is a drilling pad. For LE drilling operations, you have to have a pad, as you see right here. Okay? A few years ago,
Sure, yeah.
there wasn't a centimeter here pretty well that wasn't covered with equipment. We took upon ourselves to conduct a 3D survey, 72 kilometers, first time.
And what does that show?
First time in Israel. What does it show? What's 6 kilometers under where you're standing right now, right? And that's why we're here right now, because we are on the verge of drilling our new well right here. Our founder, John Brown, right? None of us would be here right now if it wasn't for him, okay, had the vision, and we've been drilling actively since 2005. That's 15 years.
John, thank you again for taking the time. Maybe as a first question, you can start with just sharing the backstory of why you founded Zion Oil and Gas.
Well, see, years ago, God told me to write the vision. It's in Habakkuk 2, 2, and 3. It's clear. It said, write the vision. It will come to pass. So you have to be persistent. And I didn't know at that point it was a 39-year journey. I thought it was a 6-month deal. We're going to go over there and get the oil. And I didn't know there was a journey, a faith journey that I was going to have to face. What that was, I was a new believer, and I thought I was so enthusiastic because, I mean, I had God talk to me, man. You know, and that changed my whole life. So, you know, I left my job down there, you know, and took off to Israel. And it's when I went there is when God gave me that vision at the hotel in Tel Aviv. It's all there. His blessing of Jacob, all you got to do is read it. It's the blessings on the head of Joseph. We're on the head of Joseph and Manasseh. Exactly where he told us the oil was is there.
Jeffrey, do you believe we're going to find oil here? I mean, I'm looking around. There's the borders on our east, on our north, our enemies.
We just saw what happened in Beirut. We know what's going further north with ISIS and what happened in Syria. These are our neighbors. You don't choose your neighbors. We are a country that have to have our own resources. The world is going on to renewable and everything such. That's not going to happen tomorrow. Israel truly needs, any industrial nation needs, to have and not be dependent on other countries. We did have a huge find in the Mediterranean, offshore, right? But there are security problems with that. If and when we have a discovery here, this will be onshore, right? And it'll be much better protected. So that's why we're here.
So this would be a tool in that direction.
Absolutely.
We've been blessed with an enormous supply of natural gas, and the discovery of oil looks like it could be just around the corner. As we look to the future, we are turning to another, nearly unlimited source of energy that has existed since the creation of the universe. So, Eran, you get to call this place home every single day, huh?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's our second home. Yeah, this is the place.
So this is it. This is the power plant.
Yeah, this is Shalim, Plot A.
Interesting.
As you can see, this is like a valley of renewable energy in Israel.
Looking into the future, this is one sample of where the country is going.
It's a very huge area. we are able to absorb the sun radiation, free energy radiation.
And this is sort of like the solar valley of Israel. I mean, you have the three main technologies for harvesting energy from the sun. Can you sort of break down how each one works?
We can see we have the PV, we have the trough, and we also have here a storage which contains the heat in the night when the sunlight goes down.
Fascinating.
So, as I mentioned, this is the drive pylon. This is the, let's say, the machine.
This is the engine that moves it.
Yeah. The trough track the sun, knows where the sun should be every minute, and it goes from the morning to the sunset.
This is one arm. There's another engine for the other arm.
Exactly.
And we just heard it sort of pivot and rotate. Here, it did it again.
He knows that he needs to rotate because he's doing a correction every few seconds just to see that he's in the middle of the sun.
It's amazing that this is a Jerusalem-based technology here from Israel that's now being used across the world.
Yeah, you're right. So this is called the TESS. TESS is thermal energy storage.
This is what sets this station apart from other stations.
Yes.
You have this like buffer of stored energy that keeps going, even when the sun is down.
Exactly.
So all in all, this part, the traditional part, this is just a regular power plant.
Correct.
This part is where the magic is.
This is the magic.
Because you're just inputting heat into a system.
Correct.
That's the same as any power plant. The difference is, one, you're getting it from the sun. It doesn't cost any money. And two, you have a reserve that's charging when you have a surplus of energy, so you can keep running when that energy source is gone.
Correct.
And all of that without having to input any additional energy. You know, the sun is just endless available energy. And the way you guys have harnessed it and connected it to all the different technologies is truly remarkable, but it also shows how much future there is for this technology. Israel's founding fathers knew that energy independence is necessary for the continuation and survival of Israel and the Jewish people. Decades later, our efforts continue with no signs of slowing down.
The whole idea was there was no oil in Israel. And the first thing I saw in Deuteronomy was the land would not lack anything. Oil is anything, so it wouldn't lack it.
As believers, we put our hope in God, knowing that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the assurance of things unseen.
We're expecting that we have here a lot of new projects in Israel.
We're energy independent, and second, we're exporting, and that's a big boon for Israel.
When God put me in Zion Oil and Gas and had me created, people would ask me about this oil, and I'd tell them, you know. And it seemed like there was always a blank look on their face. I would have made in 1981, when I got saved, $200,000 a year. You know how I wound up in 12 years? Working in a Baptist church cleaning toilets for $5 an hour. Remember the brook that God sent Elijah to? He sent the ravens to feed them. He said, I'm going to send you to the brook. In other words, you go sit and wait, John. And when it comes time, then you're going to move when it's my time.
This entire place is going to be filled with all the drilling equipment, and then we're going to drill, and we are encouraged that we're going to have a discovery. Obviously, it's going to be a huge impact on Israel. It's a privilege to be living in this country today, and to be able to specifically drill for oil and gas in Israel. Lots of words.
Every promise that he made, he's going to keep. Now, because we get tired of waiting, don't mean anything.
Thank you for joining us as we provide a spiritual insight of what God is doing in Israel and in the Middle East. If you want to learn more about what God is doing in Israel, make sure to visit us on our webpage and follow us on social media. Shalom, and God bless you from Jerusalem.